Topic of today's lecture is the measurement of power in three-phase AC circuit. The power is basically measured by the instrument called wattmeter. Wattmeter consists of two different coils, where one is a low resistance coil called the current coil, which is inserted in series with the line carrying the current that to be measured, and the other is called the high resistance coil. It is considered as the pressure coil, which is connected across the load, and it is used to measure the potential difference across the load. Basically, we know that the active power in a single phase AC circuit is represented by P is equal to VI cos phi, where V is the supply voltage or the voltage across the load, and I cos phi is the active component of the circuit current. So here the current coil is used to measure the active component of the circuit current, which is I cos phi, and the pressure coil used to measure the voltage across the load, that is V. Here it is a schematic diagram of the wattmeter connected in a single phase AC supply circuit, where this is the phase line and this is the neutral line. The current coil, which is a low resistance coil with very few number of turns, connected in series with the phase line, so that the current that will flowing from supply to the load, the entire current will flow through the current coil, and the pressure coil with more number of turns and a high resistance is connected in series with the pressure coil. It is connected across the load, so that the voltage that will be applied to the load, the pressure coil will measure that particular voltage. So the V will be measured by the pressure coil, and I cos phi, that is the active component of the current, will be measured by the current coil. And by the calibration of the instrument and from the reading of the scale in the instrument, we will see we can measure the power that is consumed by the load. The wattmeter gives the reading which is proportional to the product of the current flowing through its current coil. That already I have mentioned. The current that is flowing from the phase line, the same current will flow through the current coil. So the reading of the wattmeter is the proportional to the product of the current flowing through the current coil and the potential difference across its pressure coil and cosine of the phase angle between this voltage and current. So this is the concept of the power measurement in a single phase AC circuit. But as we have seen that in case of three-phase circuit, it may be three-phase three-wire system or it may be three-phase four-wire system, where the current can flow through three different phases and there may or may not be the neutral terminals. The wattmeter can be connected only between two terminals. For example, here it is connected between the phase and the neutral. So how the wattmeter can be used to measure the power for a three-phase load? Basically, there are three different methods to measure the three-phase power. The first one is called the 3 wattmeter method, used to measure the power in three-phase four-wire load circuit. This is the connection diagram of the 3 wattmeter method of the power measurement. Here R, phi, B are the three phase and N is the neutral terminal. Here the load is connected, it is considered as a balanced load. It may or may not be the balanced load. In using 3 wattmeter method, we can measure the balanced load as well as the unbalanced load also. Here, the 3 wattmeters, that is W1, W2, and W3, are connected between individual phase and neutral. For example, the current coil of the first wattmeter is connected in series with the phase R. The current coil of the second wattmeter is connected in series with the phase Y, and the current coil of the third wattmeter is connected in series with the phase B. And the pressure coil of the wattmeter W1 is connected between the phase R and the neutral. Similarly, the pressure coil of the second wattmeter is connected between the phase Y and the neutral, and for third wattmeter it is connected between phase B and the neutral. Therefore, the reading of the W1 will be equal to the current flowing through the current coil, that is the current flowing through the phase R, and product of the voltage across the phase R, that is the voltage between R and the neutral terminal, and cosine of the angle between this current and this voltage. Similarly, the reading of the wattmeter 2 will be the current flowing through the Y phase, the voltage across the Y phase, and cosine of the angle between this voltage and current. And similarly for the third wattmeter also. That means here the each wattmeter is used to measure the power for individual phase. That means for Z1 impedance, W1 will use to measure the power. Similarly, for Z2 impedance, the wattmeter W2 will be used to measure the power, and for third impedance, that is Z3, W3 will read the reading. Therefore, if we add these three readings of the wattmeter, if we add the readings of these three wattmeters, that is W1 plus W2 plus W3, it will give us the total three-phase power that is consumed by this three-phase load. We know that the three-phase power, active power, is represented by root 3 VL IL cos phi, or it can be written as 3 V phase I phase cos phi. So if we add the readings of these three wattmeters, it will give us this active power. There are some advantages as well as some disadvantages of this method. The first one is it can measure the power in individual phase. That can be seen from the circuit where the W1 is connected across the phase Z1. So that W1 will give the power that is consumed by this impedance Z1. Similarly, W2 for Z2 and W3 for Z3. That means here the individual phase power can be measured by individual wattmeter. It can measure the phase to neutral voltage. That is, the pressure coil of each wattmeter is connected between one phase and the neutral. That means the pressure coil of the wattmeter will sense the phase voltages. Here that we can see that the neutral terminals is required here for 3 wattmeter method. But in case of three-phase three-wire system, there is no neutral terminal. So a duplicate neutral connection can be created, and then the 3 wattmeter method can be applied to measure the three-phase power. There are some disadvantages also. The first one is here we have to use 3 wattmeters. That means 3 wattmeters will be connected across each phase. So the connection will be little bit of complicated. It is very sensitive for heavy loads. That means if the load consumption is very high, then the readings will be sensitive. The readings may be erroneous. The second type of method to measure the three-phase power is called the 1 wattmeter method. and it can be used for a balanced three-phase three-wire circuit. It can also be used for unbalanced load, but there we have to uh, do some extra effort. Here it is the circuit diagram for single wattmeter method of three-phase power measurement. The wattmeter current coil here is connected in series with the phase R, and the pressure coil is connected between the phase R and the neutral terminal. Therefore, the reading of this wattmeter will be equal to the power that is consumed by this phase. So here the reading of the wattmeter will be one single phase power. But if the load is balanced, then the reading of the wattmeter is multiplied by 3, then it will give us the total three phase power. So here the concept is, for a balanced condition, we will measure the power of a single phase and then we will multiply the value by 3, so it will be equal to the total three phase power. But for unbalanced condition, we cannot use this concept. That means we read the data of one phase and then multiply by 3. This concept cannot be used for unbalanced system. So there are some advantages. Here only one wattmeter is required. So the connection is very simple. We have to connect the wattmeter across only one phase. We will read the data and then we multiply it by 3. It is suitable for both balanced and unbalanced load. Now, how the power can be measured for a unbalanced system? For that condition, we have to add the wattmeters one by one across each phase. That means first of all, the wattmeter will be connected between the phase R and the neutral terminal so that it will measure the power for the first phase. Then after reading, we'll connect the wattmeter across the Y phase and the neutral so that it will measure the power for the second phase. And then we'll connect the wattmeter across the phase B and the neutral and we'll measure the power for the third phase. And the individual readings will be added so that we will get the total three phase power for a unbalanced condition. But here is some disadvantages also. A neutral connection is required for this wattmeter. That means without neutral terminal, the one wattmeter method cannot be applicable. That means for delta connected system, we cannot apply the one wattmeter method to measure the three phase power. As we have discussed, for unbalanced condition, we have to measure the power separately for each and every phase. So the reading may or may not be accurate. There may be some chances of the error. And for unbalanced condition, we have to connect the wattmeters one by one across each phase. So again, this is a tedious job. The third type of the concept is the two wattmeter method. It is used to measure the power in three-phase three-wire load circuits, both for balanced as well as for unbalanced systems. And this method is universally accepted to measure the three-phase power. Because using this method, we can also measure the power factor of the load that we will discuss later in this lecture. Here it is a circuit diagram. The two wattmeters are connected across the three-phase three-wire loads, where the current coil of the first wattmeter is connected, let's say in series with the phase R. Similarly, the current coil of the second wattmeter is connected in series with the phase Y, whereas the pressure coil of the first wattmeter is connected between the phase R and the phase B. and the pressure coil of the second wattmeter is connected between phase Y and phase B. That means here the first wattmeter in first wattmeter the current that will flow through the current coil will be equal to the line current. Similarly, the current flowing through the current coil of the second wattmeter will also be considered as the line current. In this case, it is IR and IY. Whereas the pressure coil of the first wattmeter is connected between R and B. And we know that the voltage across two external terminal is considered as the line voltage. So voltage between R and B is the line voltage. That means the pressure coil of the first wattmeter will read the line voltage. Similarly, for the second wattmeter, here the pressure coil is connected between Y and B, and the voltage between Y and B is again considered as the line voltage. That means here the current coil will measure the line current and the pressure coil will measure the line voltage. The advantage of the 2 wattmeter method is here only 2 wattmeters are required. So the connection will be little bit of simpler compared to 3 wattmeter method. It is useful for both balanced as well as unbalanced 3-phase 3-wire load. No neutral terminal is required here. For a balanced load, using 2 wattmeter method, using the readings of the 2 wattmeters, we can also measure the power factor of the load. That we'll discuss later. And we have already discussed the no neutral terminals or neutral connection is required for this method. But there are some disadvantages also. It is suitable only for 3-phase 3-wire system. That means for 3-phase 4-wire system, we need not to use the neutral terminal. Although it cannot be considered as a disadvantage. This is the limitation of the 2 wattmeter method. Here, when we read the data, then the polarity of the W1 should be carefully determined. Otherwise, the reading of the wattmeters will be there will be some error in the reading. As we have already discussed, using the readings of the 2 wattmeters, we can measure the power factor of the load. But this is possible only in case of balanced load. For unbalanced load, we cannot measure the power factor of the load by using this 2 wattmeter method. So let's discuss the 2 wattmeter method of the 3-phase power measurement in detail. First of all, here it is a circuit diagram where we have already mentioned the current coil of the first wattmeter is connected in series with the phase R, and its pressure coil is connected between R and B, and the voltage between R and B is considered as the line voltage. It can be represented as VRB, that is voltage between R and B. Similarly, the second wattmeter current coil is connected in series with the Y phase, and its pressure coil is connected between Y and B. So it will measure the voltage, that is VYB. Here the three impedances are considered as the balance, so impedances are equal. The voltage across each impedance is considered as the phase voltage. So VRN, VBN and VYN are the phase voltages. And for a balanced system, the phase voltages will be equal in magnitude, but it should be 120 degrees apart from each other. Here the three-phase load is the star-connected load. So we know that for a star-connected load, the line current is also equal to the phase current. That means here the current that is flowing through the phase R, that is IR, the same current will flow through this phase also. where the line current and phase currents are equal. Let's consider the nature of the load is resistive inductive. This is the nature of the load. So for resistive inductive load, we know that the phase current will lag the corresponding phase voltage by a phase angle, let's say phi. And for a balanced load, IR will lag VRN by the angle of phi. Similarly, IB will lag VBN by the same angle phi, and similarly IY will lag VYN by the angle of phi. So the phasor diagram is shown here. The VRN, VYN and VBN are the phase voltages, and for a balanced system there will be 120-degree phase difference between the phase voltages. So here it is VRN, then VYN is 120-degree lagging the first voltage, and similarly VBN is lagging the second voltage by 120 degrees. We consider the nature of the load is resistive inductive. So the current in the R phase, that is IR, will lag the phase voltage, that is VRN, by the angle of phi. Similarly, IY will lag VYN by the angle of phi, and IB will lag VBN by the same angle, that is phi. Here VRN is equal to VYN is equal to VBN, and it is considered as a phase voltage. Whereas IR is equal to IY is equal to IB. This is the line current, and for a star connected system, the line current and phase currents are equal for a balanced circuit. Now, as we can see that the pressure coil of the first wattmeter is connected between R and B. Therefore, the pressure coil of the first wattmeter will read the voltage, that is VRB. So VRB is the line voltage, and we know that the line voltage is the phasor summation of one phase voltage and one reverse phase voltage, that is VRN plus minus VBN. So voltage between R and B, that is the line voltage, can be written as VRN plus minus VBN. Similarly, the voltage across the second pressure coil of the second wattmeter is VYB, because it is connected between Y and B. And VYB can be written as VYN plus minus VBN. So to find these two line currents, here we draw the reverse direction of the VBN. This is the positive direction of the VBN. So this will be the reverse direction of the VBN, that is minus VBN. So if we add VRN with minus VBN, then we will get the voltage, that is VRB, and it is equal to the line voltage. Similarly, for the second wattmeter, we add VYN with minus VBN. VYN is added with minus VBN. It will give us VYB. And again, this is considered as the line voltage. If the system is balanced, then the line voltages will also be equal. That is, VRB should be equal to VYB, and it can be considered as the line voltage, that is VL. So here the three voltages VRN, YN and BN are displaced by an angle of 120 degree that we have already seen. These are the phase voltages. The load is considered as the inductive load that we have already discussed. So the phase current will lag the respective phase voltage by a angle of phi. Now in this phasor diagram we know that the angle between VRN and VYN is 120 degrees. So this angle is 120 degrees. And minus VPN, that is the reverse of the VPN phasor, will divide this angle in equal parts. That means this angle will be considered as 60 degree. And the resultant of these two voltages, that is VRN and minus VPN, which is VRB, this phasor will also divide this angle in equal parts. That means the angle between VRN and VRB will be equal to 30 degree, and this will be also 30 degree. Now we can see that the angle between VRN and IR is phi, whereas angle between VRN and VRB is 30 degree. Therefore, we can say the angle between IR and VRB is 30 minus phi. That means this angle can be written as 30 degree minus phi. Similarly, here the angle between VYN and VYB is 30 degree. The current of the Y phase, that is IY, will lag VYN by the angle of phi. So the angle between this current and this voltage will be 30 degree plus phi. Now what is the purpose of this? Here we can see that in the first wattmeter, the current is IR. For the first wattmeter, the current flowing through the current coil is IR. And the potential difference across the pressure coil of the first wattmeter is VRB. Here it is VRB. So this is the current flowing through the current coil, and this is the potential difference across the pressure coil. So the angle between these two parameters we'll have to find, that is 30 minus phi. Similarly, in case of second wattmeter, current flowing through the current coil is IY, and the potential difference across the pressure coil of the second wattmeter is VYB. So the angle between IY and VYB is equal to 30 plus phi. So we can say the reading of the first wattmeter should be voltage across the pressure coil, that is VRB, current flowing through the current coil, that is IR, and the angle between this voltage and this current, that is 30 degree minus phi. Similarly, the reading of the second wattmeter will be the voltage across the pressure coil, that is VYB, current flowing through the current coil, that is IY, and angle between the voltage and current, that is 30 degree plus phi. So the reading of the two wattmeters will be represented by this relation. So the reading of the first wattmeter that we have already discussed, it will be VRB into IR into cos 30 degree minus phi, where VRB means the voltage between phase R and the phase B, this voltage, and this is nothing but the line voltage, so you can write it VL. IR is flowing, the current flowing through the R phase line, series the line current IL cos 30 degree minus 5. That means the reading of the first wattmeter in terms of the line voltage and line current can be represented as VL cos 30 minus 5. Similarly, the reading of the second wattmeter is VYB into IY into cos 30 plus 5. We have already seen how the angles are calculated. So here it will be VL, that is VYB is the voltage between phase Y and phase B. It is the line voltage. IY is the current flowing to the Y phase. So this is the line current cos 30 minus plus 5. So the reading of the second wattmeter is VL cos 30 plus 5. Sometimes during numerical questions, we have to find the readings of the two wattmeters, so we can use this formula also. Remember, for resistive inductive load, the reading of the first wattmeter will always be represented by this equation, by this relation, and similarly, the reading of the second wattmeter will be represented by this equation. Now, find the value of W1 plus W2. Now we add the readings of the two wattmeters. So here we can see it is VLIL cos 30 minus 5, it is VLIL cos 30 plus 5. So VLIL can be taken as common and it will be cos 30 minus 5 plus cos 30 plus 5. So here it is, the formula is cos A minus B plus cos A plus B, and it is considered as 2 cos A cos B. Therefore, it is VLIL 2 cos 30 degree into cos 5, where cos 30 degree is root 3 by 2. So it can be written as VLIL 2 into root 3 by 2 into cos 5. The 2 and 2 is cancelled. So finally we can write W1 plus W2 is equal to root 3 VLIL cos 5. This is nothing but formula of the three-phase power of a three-phase circuit. We have already seen that the active power is root 3 VLIL cos 5. So here the readings of the two wattmeters gives us the active power. So in this way, when we add the readings of the two wattmeters by using the two wattmeter method of three-phase power measurement, we will directly find the value, that is the active power root 3 VLIL cos 5. As we have already discussed, the readings of the two wattmeter can also used to find the power factor. So let's see how the power factor can be measured. In the next step, we will find the value of W1 minus W2. It will be VLIL cos 30 minus 5 minus VLIL cos 30 plus 5. So W1 minus W2 will be VLIL. It is taken as common. It will be 30 minus 5 minus cos t plus phi. It is cos A minus B minus cos A plus B, and the formula is 2 sin A sin B. It will be VL IL 2 sin 30 degree into sin phi. The value of the sin 30 degree is 1 by 2. It will be VL IL 2 into 1 by 2 into sin phi. So 2 cancel. Therefore, W1 minus W2 will be equal to VL IL sin phi. So this is the value of W1 minus W2. If we multiply this reading by root 3, that means root 3 W1 minus W2, it will give us the three-phase reactive power that we have already seen in previous classes. The reactive power of a three-phase circuit is represented by root 3 VLIL sin phi. It will be the reactive power. So from the reading of two ammeters, we can find the active power as well as we can find the reactive power also. But to find the power factor, we will consider W1 minus W2. So in the next step, find the value of W1 minus W2 upon W1 plus W2. So here it will be VL IL sin phi upon the value of W1 plus W2 is equal to three-phase power, that is root 3 VL IL cos phi, where VL and IL is cancelled from numerator and the denominator. It will be sin phi upon cos phi, that is tan phi upon root 3. In the next step, we can write tan phi is equal to root 3 W1 minus W2 upon W1 plus W2. So the phi can be written as tan inverse root 3 W1 minus W2 upon W1 plus W2. Remember, the W1 and W2 means the reading of the two wattmeters. So from this formula, we can find the value of phi. And what is phi? It is called the phase angle. The power factor is considered as cosine of this phase angle. So the power factor can be calculated by using the formula cos of tan inverse root 3 W1 minus W2 upon W1 plus W2. So by using this formula, we can easily find the power factor of the three-phase load. Here we have to remember one thing. We have initially considered the nature of the load is resistive inductive. So for resistive inductive load, the reading of the first wattmeter was VL IL cos 30 minus phi, and the reading of the second wattmeter was VL IL cos 30 plus phi. So these are the reading of two wattmeters when the load is resistive inductive. But if the load is resistive capacitive, for resistive capacitive load, the reading of the 2 wattmeter expression will be just reversed. That means the value of W1 will be VLIL cos 30 plus 5, and the reading of the second wattmeter will be VLIL cos 30 minus 5. So we have to carefully see the nature of the load. Then only we can use the formula to find the reading of the individual wattmeters. For RL load, it will be 30 minus 5 and W2 will be 30 plus 5. And for RC load, the sign will be just reversed. So in case of resistive inductive load, it can be also seen that the reading of the first wattmeter is always greater than the reading of the second wattmeter. And for resistive capacitive load, the reading of the first wattmeter will be always less than the reading of the second wattmeter. And for a purely resistive load, the reading of the two wattmeters will be equal. So if the reading of the two wattmeter is equal, we can easily identify the nature of the load is resistive inductive. So the phi is equal to tan inverse root 3 W1 minus W2 upon W1 plus W2. Remember one thing, the formula to calculate the value of phi is same for any type of load, whether it is resistive inductive or resistive capacitive or purely resistive. In all the cases, the value of the phi will be calculated by using this formula only, and the power factor, that is cos phi. So in this way, the two wattmeter method is used to measure the power. We can also find the power factor of the load, as well as we can identify the nature of the load also. Thank you.